So how does the recycling system work? It's pretty simple and mostly works the same in every city around the world. You put stuff in a recycling bin, then once or twice a week it gets collected and trucked to a sorting facility known as a material recovery facility, or MRF. At the material recovery facility, it gets sorted into different types of materials, and then each material gets bundled up into bales. These bales are then sold to companies that want the material. Simple, right? As simple as it is, a lot of people think that the company which is collecting the recyclables are actually recycling that stuff. But they aren't. All they're doing is sorting it and selling it to traders who on-sell to recycling companies. So here's the thing. If there's just one thing that you learn from this video, the thing that so many people seem to misunderstand, let it be this. Recycling is a business. It's not a charity. It's not a social enterprise. It's not some government-run enterprise. It's a business subject to market forces like every other. Because recycling is so important when it comes to reducing our impact on the environment, it can be hard to remember that it's actually a business that needs to succeed based on economic factors. But once you understand that recycling is a business, a lot of other things make sense. Like, for instance, why recycling rates are so low, or why it is harder for a Garanguni to make a living today compared to a decade ago. And it also explains why some materials are technically recyclable, but are not actually recycled in practice. The price of any material is affected by supply and demand. Supply being how much is coming out of the sorting plants around the world, and demand is driven by the needs of companies doing the actual recycling. And it's a global market. The companies that buy our waste are mostly located in Malaysia. Some come from elsewhere in the region, and sometimes from China. We are competing to sell to them with countries from around the world. A Chinese company can choose to buy material from Singapore, or it can choose to buy material from the United States. It will choose based on who's giving the best price. Now, because the world produces so much waste, the price of most materials have been going down every year. Everybody is trying to sell their waste. In fact, sometimes they are so desperate to get rid of their recyclable waste that they pay people to take it away. There is just far more supply of waste material than demand, and this is a driving force behind why recycling rates are so low. We're often told that low recycling rates are because stupid consumers don't know how to recycle properly.
Useless!
They're always putting stuff in blue bins that don't belong there and contaminating the contents. And it's absolutely true that people are putting stuff in the blue bins that do not belong there. You can look at almost any blue bin to prove this for yourself. People throw in stuff that has food waste or sometimes items that just don't belong there. And sometimes they engage in wish cycling. What's wish cycling? It's when you just anyhow throw and hope it gets recycled. Wish cycling might make you feel like you're doing your part because you're trying to recycle, but actually it's making things worse. Putting stuff into the recycling system that does not belong there makes the whole system less efficient and more costly. So here's a suggestion. Don't do that. But in fairness to consumers, wish cycling and thoughtlessly throwing stuff in the blue bin are not the main reasons that we're unable to achieve high levels of recycling. The main reason is that there are just not enough buyers. There is just not enough recycling capacity for all the world's waste recyclable material. This is not only Singapore's problem, it's everybody's problem. You could lovingly wash every single piece of plastic and keep your blue bin pristine, and you would still have a low plastic recycling rate because there is no demand. So what happens to stuff that I put in the blue bin that doesn't get recycled? Simple. It's just going to get sent to the incinerator, just like the rest of the rubbish. It has just taken a longer route. Take plastic, for instance. Given that plastic has such a low recycling rate, it was only 4% in 2018, most of your plastic is going to end up in the incinerator, whether you put it in the green bin or the blue bin. Now, I'm not saying that there is zero consumer plastic that is recycled. Of course there is some, but only very little. So little, in fact, that all the water and soap that you have used to wash it out is probably a waste. Dirty plastic should just go straight into the rubbish bin. At this point, you're probably saying, oh my God, we're doomed. There's nothing we can do to improve recycling rates. But that's not true. A little bit of math will make it clear how you can improve your recycling rates very easily. Let's revisit fractions. The recycling rate is recycled material divided by total material. You can improve the rate by either increasing the amount that's recycled or decreasing the total. Simple, right? Decrease the total. Meaning, once again, if we just buy less stuff, then the recycling rate will improve. Simple, right? All roads lead to buying less stuff. The thought I want to leave you with is this. Recycling is not going to save us. Recycling isn't a way to get rid of your consumption karma. Should you take care when you put things into a recycling bin? Yes, of course you should. Don't be one of those jerks that throws a half-empty bubble tea into the blue bin or their old pillow. But don't be naive either. Don't think it's okay to shop online all day long because that plastic packaging is going to get recycled. It is absolutely not going to get recycled. It's going to be sent to the incinerator. It's going to be burned, and it's going to release carbon, which is going to contribute to climate change. Own it. So what's the bottom line? It's always the same. The top 3 R's of zero waste are reduce, reduce, reduce.